Hello there, YouTube. This is Charlie Brawley back at you with another video. This video is going to talk about the importance of patience, and I'm going to use Muhammad Ali to teach you all an amazing lesson in the art of being patient. Of course, right now, a lot of us are probably quarantined or down. And what I'm going to say is that for number one, continue to be encouraged because there's an estimate of about 47 million people who will be unemployed within the next couple months. This video that I'm going to show you here, this downtime that you have, so as long as you have a good strategy, okay, you can apply what Muhammad Ali is about to teach you now. So what I'm going to do is play the clip, and then I'm going to come back and then give you my commentary.
I'm in pretty good shape. I don't get by. Don't worry about my ballot. You're not in good shape either. And if you keep talking, I'm going to show the people you're in no better shape than me.
How do you plan to fight the fight, champ?
Well, I plan to
Pay attention.
a new style, Howard. I will announce it now. The new style by laying in the rope sometime, letting the man punch himself out. It is called the rope-a-dope.
The rope-a-dope.
Rope-a-dope.
What does the word dope honor?
It honors whoever chases me in the rope.
All right, that's the very point. What if Ron doesn't pursue you into the ropes? What if he backs off?
If you don't, then I'll just go into my defensive style, Howard, and move in and force him to punch. Watch this thing careful tonight. You will notice how I'll completely wear this man down. Watch careful. You'll notice how when the bell rings, I'll walk right out and take his shot. I'll force him. I offer him a deal and can't refuse. And after throwing 4 or 5 rounds of this, Howard, you'll finish. He's got 15 to go. Notice when I go to the ropes, you'll see me cover up, blocking the vulnerable part, blocking the chin. I don't want no amateurs out there to try this because it's awful dangerous. You have to have fast reflexes. It takes 21 years experience to get away with this. But you will see me tonight literally take this man. He may win 2 or 3 rounds for the first 5, but after 5 rounds, this man will, Howard, he'll just be completely exhausted. And this is better than me jumping and dancing and running and wasting a lot of time. All of this moving, trying to keep him getting hit, and he really can't hurt me. And so it's best to walk on in and let him take a shot and block him, and knowing that in 2 or 3 rounds he'll be completely tired. So you watch it. I'm introducing this to the fight game. It is called the rope-a-dope.
That's my I love it. I love it. I love it. So Muhammad Ali, for those of you guys who are not familiar, I'm not sure if you are or not, but for those of you not familiar with Muhammad Ali, obviously he was a boxer. Probably a lot of people say he's one of the best boxers that ever lived. I think overall, yeah. But as terms of pure boxing, I think there may be others who probably could be. Actually, George Foreman has probably, I think, the best heavyweight record. But as an overall boxing legend, definitely Muhammad Ali is. So when I was just going through, I was looking at YouTube, obviously being quarantined, and practicing a lot. And speak of which, there's going to be another video that I'm going to do talking about what I think we could do together to overcome or help us overcome. It's a lot of people need a lot of help, and that's kind of what I've been here for. But you're gonna have to do the work, similar to what Muhammad Ali is talking about in this video is the art of patience. He teaches a huge lesson about being patient and allowing your enemy, which would be the casino, to take punches up front, right? So this rope-a-dope method, he ended up beating George Foreman with, and George Foreman literally walked right into exactly what he said. He allowed George Foreman to get a number of different hits up front, like for a few rounds. When I talk about being patient in the game, the only reason that Muhammad Ali knew to have that kind of patience was because he knew and understood the calculation of a man throwing that many punches for that period of time without being punched out. It's only so long he can go. One of the reasons why I say permutations, the only type of system that can beat roulette is a permutative based system, because it relies on the limitation of patterns that are consistent. Any type of, like, you may see people, let me see if I can, people have strategies that look like this, and you guys even buy them. And it's not that they're just bad strategies, it's just that they don't make any sense. For example, like, you can't just say, this red here, that right there, cover that, play that, a certain amount of times, and you're going to automatically win, right? Well, we automatically win. It's, oh, wow, that's great. Okay, imagine being in a fight with Muhammad Ali. You hit the first lick you hit, right? That don't mean you got to stop fighting. The game ain't over. Because surely this game ain't going to allow you to just continue to win, right? Not doing the exact same thing. So what he's kind of talking about, so this is a bad strategy. A better strategy is to do what Muhammad Ali is talking about, the rope-a-dope strategy. What that means is, instead of playing every single opportunity, you allow the game to fight itself out. We call those virtual losses, right? That's the point of being patient, is to allow the game to wear itself out before you start to play, because there's only so many variables that it can and will produce in a certain amount of time, depending on the strategies, which is why I tell you, when you get the strategies, study the strategies, not from a perspective of just how to win, but to understand what it's doing. You want to know the limitations. That gives you an idea of the amount of time you may have to spend, as Muhammad Ali will call, on the ropes. It's the rope-a-dope strategy. It's all about being patient. Because one of the things he said in here, he said it was much better than him spinning and dipping and always hitting every single time and wasting a bunch of time. And he didn't want to get hit anyway. And in the process of him trying to, float like a butterfly or whatever, he was getting hit. And he always talked about he liked to be pretty. So what he did is spend most of his time covering his most prized possession, which is what we call it money. Him is his face in the ring. He's covering his most prized possession because he's pretty. So he's got to cover that for a while and allow the game to beat up on him without ever hurting him, right? So the beat up on you part for us is the patience part. Allowing those consecutive losses to go by, and then playing the game, right? And that's how he became the winner. So the thing is, though, you still have to have a good strategy. One of the things I did like that he said is that, for amateurs, don't try this because you have to understand the nuance. You have to have quick reflexes and all those other things. You need to understand the strategies first. You need to understand what creates those patterns, and it just can't be a plug and play type strategy. If you're playing every single opportunity and you're not winning every single opportunity, therein lies your own self-negligence in thinking that you're going to win every single time. It makes zero sense. If you're not going to win every single time, why do you play every single time? Every single opportunity, rather. And if you're not going to play every single opportunity, why aren't you playing every single opportunity? Well, duh, it's because you don't win every single time. So why waste the money? Common sense. But it's a rope-a-dope strategy. You're not fighting right now. You're just literally awaiting the game to tire itself out. And you're covering your most prized possession, which is your bank account. Okay. All right, guys. I didn't want to be here long, but had a couple people say, was I going to do any type of new videos? I do want to encourage you guys again to don't give up in this disparaging time. Understand that the true power is in your thoughts. It's in the way you think. And the more that's being processed in your head in the media, it's beginning to control your thoughts. And whatever's being repeated inside of your head is becoming your reality. whether it's fear-based or whatever the case is. So you've got to get control of your mind, over your mind, and begin to repeat or watch things that are repetitive in nature that is more conducive to the world you want to see. Okay. You know the reason why they called words spelling, like they call it a spelling word, or you're going to spell something, because words are spells. It's one of the reasons why headline after headline after headline is filled with fear, because words are spells. And if you hear these enough, they become a reality. Here's an example. So let's say if you had a person who maybe they didn't like you, and you said something to them, and they may have been having a great day, but you said something to them and it pissed them off. Well, that quickly, your word changed the future course. It changed the energy of whomever those words came into. So if you are not a strong-minded person, or if the majority of words that are being constantly repeated to you are those of affirmation of love and hope and prosperity and those things, that's what's going to become of your reality. So when you look at your life, start looking at it from a perspective of what is it that's constantly being repeated in your head. That's what becomes your reality. It's the reason why music and commercials play over and over and over again. It's the reason why you do homework and then they repeat. The repetition is the spell. That's the word itself is casting a spell for the good or the bad. Just because it's a spell doesn't mean it's bad. There are good spells. You're gonna hypnotize yourself too. So you may as well do it with knowledge. So that's one of the reasons why I do certain videos like this, is to, number one, help us become better. But number two, particularly at this time, is don't fall for the mental trap. My sister said, many people are going to have a heart attack before they have a virus. You'll be amazed at what stress does to your immune system. So you've got to be careful of what's constantly and that includes me. I'm saying this because I often take phone calls from people who that's what they want to talk about. And it's like, no, this is not what I'm going to talk about. My spirit has to be free enough to get the information that's needed for me to get, and behave and move in a way that's needed for me to behave to, live out my dream or my purpose or whatever, or my vision for my life. But I can't do it if I'm constantly on social media, constantly responding to every article, constantly looking at news. It's going to depress you. Words are power. Words are spells. The more negative stuff you're hearing, the more it's being cast upon you. Turn it off. Turn something else on, or turn nothing on. Speak to yourself. Cast spells upon yourself. It's all in your head. Well, listen, guys, didn't want to be here too long. Hopefully that was a good lesson on patience. So whatever strategy that you have, I call it playing on the backside of the threshold. You need to know what that is. If all the strategies that I sell are based upon permutations, 100%. It's not that you can't win. It's just that, do you have the patience to be a consistent winner? That's the issue, the biggest issue. So know that. And so you don't blame the fact that your overzealousness is not the cause of you losing. So you've got to calm yourself down, become more patient, study what you do, understand the thresholds of whatever it is that you do. The better you understand that, the faster you can become in terms of winning more. But until you understand that, it's just like riding a bike. You didn't start off riding it at 10 miles an hour. You were barely getting beyond 1. It's okay. You don't have to jump on this bike and go 10 miles per hour the moment you jump on it, though you may soon. But if you're just now starting to understand these concepts, slow down. But stay consistent, because with 47 million people estimated being unemployed, this can and will be a few people's source of income, not just today, but forever. All right? Not everybody gets it. Unfortunately, they don't. But I'm key witness personally and in the lives of people I know who do get it and are very consistent with real money. But these principles that I'm talking about, this is more of the strategy than the strategy. I mean, if you think about it, this was a world heavyweight champion. His strategy wasn't to fight. Interesting. But he still won. Even though as a fighter, his strategy was not to fight. But he used patience as a strategy, and that's how he beat one of the toughest competitors. And I think if you go back and check my record, but I think, and I might be wrong, but in the heavyweights, George Foreman, I think, has the best record. At least longest, most wins versus losses percentage, that record, all right? But he beat that guy with that theory. Okay, and George Foreman was one of the hardest punch, particularly those days, ever. And even when he was in his 40s and was still fighting, he was still one of the hardest punchers then. But Muhammad Ali beat him not through fighting. So Roulette is just like Foreman. All right, you could beat him every single time, but you're going to have to play the rope-a-dope. You're going to have to consistently do it. The better you get at it, the faster you can get in terms of, let's imagine if the rope-a-dope style Muhammad Ali used was even faster. He would tire his opponent out faster, because now the opponent has to swing faster to try to get him. So that's what I mean. The more you do this, the more you practice the patience, the better you're going to see the game and the faster you can become. But try that rope-a-dope. It's going to definitely be a consistent winner. And again, we're not in times of jest. We really have to be up on our game. So don't take things light. Stay quarantined. Stay inside. Keep your mind and your heart intact. And I think if we do that, we're going to be okay. But if we don't, if that doesn't work, then we're all doomed anyway. All right, guys. I think I am going to, if you do want any of the strategies, just let me know. Email. I'll give you a discount on them too, because I know it's hard out here. And so if you do want, just send me an email, and particularly if you've already got a couple, just let me know that up front. And so don't buy it from my site. Just send me an email first, permutationspro@gmail.com. You can get any of them. I'm going to definitely do a discount because it's tough. It's tough. But I will say that by the numbers, my theories about roulette still hold true. Because the market is down, the roulette variables are still the same. People are still consistently winning. They're still continuing to rise their minimums. The market is down, but roulette's still winning. Okay? So my theory about the whole thing is true. It's a limited base variable system that can be predicted. It just has to happen in time. The market is too volatile. Even if you try to invest now, it's a wise idea because stocks are down. But what's the next headline? When the infection is at 1 million, consumer confidence is going to be way too low. $1 trillion bailout, $2 trillion? You're going to overinflate the economy. What's the real point? The people can't go to work if they're sick. What are we giving all this money away for? We should give most of it to the cure. Get the people back healthy and they can go to work. But there's no money for the cure. There's only money to keep people sick and keep people out of work. I don't know what the end game is. But what's still winning is roulette. So you might want to think about what I'm saying. And even for those who've been trolling me for the last 2 or 3 years, you probably need to think about what I'm saying. I'm not trying to, make a joke out of it. This is just really, really, people are dying. I mean, it's real. It's real. So anyway, guys, didn't want to get too deep into all that. Thank you guys so much for listening, man. Like I said, if you did want anything, don't go to the website. Just send me an email first. I'll give you some sort of discount. It'll always be good, whatever it is. And if you're interested in anything else, just hit me on my email. The website is, again, still unupdated. Just like you, I've been hunkered down. I've been inundated with a bunch of calls because of the times that we're living in. The only thing I could say is just keep your energy and your mind as free as you can. If we could do that, and I think if we all knew and understood the power of our thoughts and our mind, we could change the course of everything. It's just that we don't, which is why, I'm not going to get into all that. But for those who are listening, if you could turn off the mess for a while, tap into yourself, repeat things within yourself that you want in your world, and constantly do that. You're going to be led to the right things at the right time. I'm only saying that because that's the way my life has been kind of going for the last 3 years. I can't imagine that it sustained that long and it all was a lie. These theories that I'm talking about are the theories that's gotten me here, and I believe the theories that will lead me forward. Because if it's not for that, then I never was in control anyway, and I never knew anything of what was going on, so it really doesn't matter. But with that said, guys, take care, and I'll be doing another video soon. Take care.